Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Kaylin Ryan. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, CSUN, like many other schools, have moved to virtual classes. So for now, until the end of the semester, Valley View News will show you some of our favorite stories from the recent past. The stories will take you around the San Fernando Valley and beyond. Local governments have told people to stay home to decrease spreading the COVID-19 virus. For many, that means not commuting to work. Valley View News' Esteban Reynoso looks at the effects that staying home have had on Southern California's environment.
And the County of Los Angeles is issuing a safer at home, stay at home order.
The coronavirus pandemic has forced a complete stop to some everyday habits. Workplaces and schools are shut down in an effort to slow down the spreading of the virus. That means fewer people are on the roads.
Los Angeles is sort of the poster child for bumper-to-bumper traffic most any time of the day or night. On many freeways, we have freeways that accommodate hundreds of thousands of cars a day.
That's Dr. Aval, a professor of environmental health at USC. He measures the air quality and pollution in Los Angeles.
And there's even a color-coded index, the so-called Air Pollution Index, API, that you can look at that sort of shows in what the levels are like. The idea being that, green is good and red is bad.
This map shows Los Angeles' air quality index this time last year in 2019. We see lots of yellow and even some orange pop up. But this year, it's a lot different. There's a lot of green, and city officials are noticing.
We can see it in the air, we can feel it on the empty streets, and I want to thank you, because those are the only metrics we can really go by to see whether people are abiding by what we're asking them to do.
This is Glen Oaks Boulevard in Sylmar, and normally on a Sunday afternoon, it would be bustling with cars, but today, there's hardly anybody. The last time air quality was this good in Los Angeles, the 1940s. Reporting in Sylmar, I'm Esteban Reynoso for Valley View News.
It's a method people are using for a purpose.
A lot of people recycle because they want to help the earth, but a lot of people do it to get money, so they can pay bills or, do other stuff.
I don't have any money, so what am I gonna do? Oh, I got some recyclables.
Mark Johnson has been recycling for 20 years. He says he used to give his recyclables to neighbors and stopped giving them away after he found some prosperity in recycling.
Hard as it is to make it nowadays, you need every penny. You can't just throw it away.
A side hustle that has many dropping off loads of plastics and cans.
Probably since we were very young, like since 2010, I guess, when that whole reduce, recycle thing came out.
Albert Mendez fills many recycling containers. He says his family and he started recycling after they became more educated about keeping the earth clean.
Kind of more like a side thing, like a hobby, I guess. Just because, like when we have parties and stuff, we just collect so we could get like some type of profit off of it.
Recycler Maria Gonzalez says she's been recycling for 6 years. She goes to the recycling center once a month. She says people who recycle benefit a lot from it.
That's what I use it for, to buy the stuff that we need for the home. Also, I don't throw it away in the streets because it's not good for the environment.
From the moment we got here, people have been coming in and out from this center, dropping off bags just like this one, all to make the extra cash. In Panorama City for Valley View News, I'm Carissa Preciado.
Padre, Hijo, Espíritu Santo.
Counting his blessings is what's helped ex-gang member Jorge Ruiz make it through 5 years of sobriety.
I would beat my first wife. I didn't care about my family.
He says living in South Los Angeles made it easy to hang out with the wrong crowd. It gave him easy access to drugs.
In this part of Los Angeles, one sometimes has power over those who sell this trash. And what I would do is just ask for it.
He was on a dark path that led him in the wrong direction. But after opening the doors to a religious retreat, he changed his lifestyle.
I was never the same, because that day I met someone who I thought I always knew, but I didn't truly know him, and his name is Jesus Christ.
Ruiz now attends church with many law-abiding citizens. A report prepared for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration says mental illness is common with people who struggle with substance abuse and addiction. In 2016, 8.2 million adults had a mental illness while also abusing drugs.
Como te digo, a veces el nerviosismo.
I'd get nervous, anxious, and then I was diagnosed with vertigo, and at times I couldn't sleep.
Ruiz says the first months of being sober were the hardest. He credits God for giving him strength and being by his side when he needed help.
I say that if it was up to me, I'd still be doing the same thing. But because of him, I know that I don't want to go back to the same old stuff because I know it's a way of letting him down, and I don't want to let him down.
Ruiz says he wants to help other people who are struggling with substance abuse find their way to sobriety through religion. In South Los Angeles for Valley View News, I'm Carissa Preciado. The sound of another day at work for street vendor Jose de la Cruz. For the past 18 years, he's dedicated his life selling raspados and corn throughout the streets of Panorama City. A job that not only helps him make a living, but also helps him support his family.
Just go work somewhere else. But I tell them, I'm not young, it's not easy to find a new job. To tell you the truth, I'm going to continue selling corn and raspados. It's what I like doing.
Through encounters he's had with police in past occasions, he's received tickets for being unauthorized to sell food legally. Governor Jerry Brown has signed Safe Sidewalk Vending Act, a statewide law that legalizes and decriminalizes street vending. With the new law taking effect next year, he hopes it won't demand too much from him or other vendors.
And there's always someone who will say, hey, the cops are coming. Be careful. They might take your card away. Hide or see what you can do.
Juan Salas, who is a board member from the city of Pacoima, says that this new law is expected to bring more revenue to the state. He believes that many vendors in California will easily adapt to this new law, just like the current regulations in Los Angeles.
For any laws, and they were also for paying any licenses, doing any food health inspections.
Street vendors throughout California, just like De La Cruz, will not have to be living in fear once this new law takes in effect next year. In Los Angeles, I'm Carissa Preciado for Valley View News.
The raids, the family separation, the deportations of immigrants. The Immigration Justice Committee and 46 organizations are tired of it all. Fayyaz Nawawi was part of the group that came together in front of City Hall to demand change.
We believe it is imperative that these detention centers are shut down.
The protesters want to break the notion that their only solution is to rely on the Democratic and Republican parties. Maeve Campbell of the Revolutionary Internationalist Organization says the mobilization of the working class is the answer to ending these deportations.
Because the working class has the power to shut down capitalist profits and demand that we defend immigrants.
Governor Newsom recently signed a bill named SB 32. It demands that federal detention facilities in California be shut down. During the protest, participants laid down to represent the many immigrant deaths since President Donald Trump took office.
No Trump, no KKK, no racist USA!
The participating organizations believe no human being is illegal in this country. Rather, they think people should greet immigrants with friendship. Lisa Salvery says people should think more before taking action in any matter.
About what the laws that we pass, who we vote for, we have to think about the fallout that's happening, and the detention camps is just one part of that, a bigger problem and bigger issue.
Protesters have gathered in hopes that in the 2020 election, a presidential candidate will take action in ending the deportation of immigrants. In Los Angeles for Valley View News, I'm Elena Tovar. The past few days have been somber in the Santa Clarita Valley. Thousands show support for victims who lost their lives in the Saugus High School shooting. The 16-year-old shooter, a student at the school, killed two of his peers, Dominic Blackwell and Gracie Ann Muehlberger. He then turned a gun on himself. Celine Khatib, a Saugus student, heard the gunshots herself.
I was walking to class when I heard 3 gunshots and I saw people running. And it didn't hit me at first of what was going on, and I saw people falling on top of each other, screaming and crying, and that's when I knew something was wrong.
Many gave out free Saugus Strong shirts, glow sticks, donuts, and blankets. Families, relatives, and close friends of the victims spoke. Emma Bartell, a friend of Blackwell, says his memory will always be in their hearts.
It will be a long, painful walk to class without him on December 2nd. My heart breaks for his family and for the pain that they're going through. Nothing can replace his loss and no words can heal our hearts. But we can honor him by remembering him.
The shooting was traumatic for students, but it also traumatized the victims' families. Grandmother Maria Orozco says her granddaughter was very frightened when this shooting occurred.
The girl was very scared. She had to run to another room and everyone was scared. We were all full of fear because we never thought this would happen here.
Thousands of blue glow sticks rose high in remembrance of the victims. Later, many glow sticks were placed on a fence near the high school. Charlotte Steiger says these constant shootings aren't fair.
I don't see a logical reason why this should keep going, and I think that we do need reform. I think we need anything at this point to help out for the communities.
In Santa Clarita for Valley View News, I'm Elena Tovar. She survived over 20 surgeries and 2 strokes. At the age of 2, Riley Weinstein was diagnosed with concomitant angioma, a brain aneurysm. Weinstein says the strokes left her paralyzed on the left side of her body.
I had to relearn to do everything. I had to learn how to walk, talk, eat, speak, and hold my head up on my own.
Weinstein is now an independent dance instructor for special needs students. She's also a dancer, choreographer, and a public speaker. She says her love for dancing and exercising helped her recover from her medical complications. She says she has noticed improvements in her special needs students as well.
I've had students who have been in my class who couldn't walk at all, and on the last day they walked out of my class.
Using different types of dances, students are able to learn rhythm and listening skills. A student of Weinstein, Natalie Severa, who was diagnosed with DeGeorge syndrome, says her instructor motivates her to be active.
I would say Riley encourages me.
Yeah, good job!
That really helps me want to do it better.
Everybody wants to be happy and to be accepted.
Natalie's mom, Bonnie Severa, appreciates Weinstein. She treats her daughter just like anybody else.
I think all of us have a lot to learn from people that are different.
Weinstein says she isn't embarrassed because of her disability. Rather, she embraces it. Weinstein says not judging yourself is key to being happy.
You have to have confidence in yourself first before anybody else can have confidence in you.
Whether it be dancing, exercising, or doing an activity you love, Riley is a reminder to never lose sight of our dreams because anything is possible. In Santa Clarita for Valley View News, I'm Elena Tovar.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Gambling usually happens in casinos, but the latest craze is gambling in video games, and your kids are probably doing it. Loot boxes are games of chance within the actual video game. You pay real money and win a random prize. Alejandro Williams says the goal is to show off.
You're spending money to essentially try to get a product just for cosmetic value. It's just make the character look cooler.
Some people are worried loot boxes could become a gateway to gambling addiction in children.
It's eye candy,
Williams says kids are drawn to the visuals.
It could be a diamond or something, but you want it. And it's just right there in front of you. Pretty colors? Yeah, you would want to get that.
And that's one of the problems. Loot boxes, like casinos, tend to use bright lights and loud noises to give off a sense of accomplishment. That sense of accomplishment can be addicting to some gamers. Gamers like Michael Espinoza.
I've spent about $200 a month, on
just cosmetic skins on just the loot boxes. I think what makes it so addicting is that the loot boxes are completely random. So if you don't get a certain skin that you want, it's like you just have to keep trying.
Some companies won't call loot box features gambling. They use other names like surprise mechanics. In Northridge, I'm Timothy Tien, Valley View News. Social media is another way for people to communicate. It helps people keep in touch, but there's also a darker side. Stevie Cho says social media hurt her mental health.
The fear of missing out on things and then realizing that, other people's lives seem better than yours and that you're really kind of alone in everything.
Social media can be an addicting environment. Seeing other people's lives while revealing your own life can be appealing. Cho felt a rush when she got likes, but when her posts didn't get that validation, she'd start questioning her own likability.
I sit there and I'm like, well, maybe this wasn't interesting enough, or maybe I wasn't being funny enough, or, it's not about like, oh, maybe they just didn't see it or like didn't care to just tap on it and give it a like.
But that's not the only thing that hurt her mental health. She says Facebook always showed her other people's success, even if it's sugar-coated. That still made her question her own worth.
I went through a pretty bad breakup, and I was upset about it, obviously, and I see my friends getting married. Like, of course, I'm gonna feel bad about myself because I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, is something wrong with me? You're so heavy and you step on me and it hurts.
So Cho decided to quit social media, pretty much entirely. And she says it's made a big change in her life. Cho says now she doesn't worry about what others think of her.
I feel a lot better. I don't feel like I have to broadcast every part of my life. I don't feel like I have to curate my life to be something that it's not, just so that I can get those likes, basically, get people's attention and get people to say like, oh, you're doing such a good job.
Cho says it's good to get away from social media once in a while to focus on what makes you happy. Reporting from Costa Mesa for Valley View News, I'm Timothy Tien.
A green screen lines Khmer TV's walls. Two anchors sit at a desk. They hope to bring information about the Cambodian American or Khmer population to its people. Tony Lai started his Bellflower-based station because he used to struggle with finding information about his community.
I have no idea that they have the parades. I have no idea Cambodian town exists. You live right here, but because you don't have information.
Ready on 5, 4, 3.
And it's not just the Khmer community he's trying to reach. Lai says he wants to find ways to bring Cambodian culture into mainstream American culture.
I sponsor the Cambodian dancer, they call Khmer art. I sponsor them to go out and dance so that way at least it shows our culture to other people.
When they call in, they're going to call into the phone.
He does this to give Khmer people a voice. Kampik Va says the Cambodian community is hugely underrepresented in media.
When I go to these events, there's not that many news outlets and there's not much coverage.
Khmer TV also offers up studio space like this for students to use for free. This gives them a place and an opportunity for them to learn and get off the streets. Reporting from Bellflower for Valley View News, I'm Timothy Tien.
Un restaurante salvadoreño en Los Ángeles está causando sensación por el twist angelino que le da a sus comidas tradicionales. Yo visité el famoso restaurante que atrae no solo a locales, pero también a muchos turistas. Veamos. No es una tortilla, ni mucho menos un taco. Es una pupusa. Bienvenidos a la Pupusa Urban Eatery, un restaurante moderno salvadoreño.
No somos su típico restaurante salvadoreño, no somos nada tradicional, todo es muy Los Ángeles, muy estilo aquí, muy estilo callejero, como nosotros nos creamos aquí.
Ubicado en el oeste de Los Ángeles, este restaurante familiar, establecido en el 2017 por los esposos Juan y Stephanie, tiene todo lo que se puede antojar.
Ofrecemos bistec encebollado, como sopa de gallina, sopa de pata, sopa de res, empanadas, yuca.
Pero además de los platillos tradicionales salvadoreños, este restaurante se ha hecho el favorito de muchos por ese toque angelino que le da a sus comidas. Toque y creatividad que satisface todo tipo de paladar y que hace que muchos quieran visitar de diferentes partes del mundo.
Esta es mi primera vez, estoy visitando desde Australia. Lo he seguido en Instagram por un tiempo, no sé cómo me di cuenta, pero lo he seguido y como vine para Los Ángeles dije, tengo que venir a visitarlo.
Entre los peculiares platillos se encuentra la pupusa mexicana, acompañada con carne, crema, guacamole y pico de gallo. Y si de compartir con la familia se trata, entonces la mamazota es la mejor opción.
Las ideas surgen de todas las culturas aquí en Los Ángeles, las culturas con quienes nosotros convivimos y tratamos de mezclar las comidas y más que todo los gustos que tenemos nosotros en platillos que nos gusta ver o probar.
Y para los que deciden ordenar para llevar, también pueden agregar stickers, gorras y hasta camisas con famosas frases salvadoreñas. En Los Ángeles, Ana Ramos, Noticias del Valle.
They're 120.
Holiday shopping is here, and the sales are on. For some shoppers, this is an exciting time to grab onto the best deals, but others would rather stay away.
I try to avoid Black Friday just because the crowds get really intense and I'm not like pushy or shovey or anything like that, so I'll probably just do most of it online.
Retailers see an increase in theft during this time. They are watching from backstage.
We try to track it down with using the cameras we have in the store. We try to keep account of what they have in the fitting room as well.
But if having alarms at the doors, sensors on the items, and even placing more cameras around the stores is not enough, there are places coming up with new plans. Sears calls it the loss prevention system. Security guards are supposed to keep an eye on people, not on merchandise.
We normally stand guard at doors or we walk around, and we mostly are meant to keep away and not visually be seen by other people.
So don't expect to see them, but they will be watching us. In Northridge, I'm Ana Ramos for Valley View News. With drums beating loudly and feet stomping, people came together last Saturday to celebrate the 36th annual Powwow at Cal State Northridge. A powwow is a social gathering where different Native American tribes perform dances and songs. Master of Ceremony Randolph Pico educated and even got people
Come on out, audience.
to join the arena.
People have adopted a specific set of about a dozen dance styles, and they dance to those dance styles, and they sing either from a northern style or a southern style.
The powwow starts with something called guard dancing, a grand entry, and later followed by traditional dances. One dance is the fancy shawl dance. Ashley Martinez has been dancing it for 5 years and says,
It's jumping on your tippy toes and twirling, a lot of twirling, and you're imitating like a hummingbird. For me, it's a dragonfly.
The outfits are traditional regalia. They're often handmade and decorated with colorful feathers, jingle bells, sparkles, and other accessories. But attending a powwow is more than seeing traditional dances and outfits. For some, it's a special day to connect with their roots.
As a little girl, I used to go with my dad, and I remember me and my brother running around, and I feel like I never really, even when I stopped going for a couple of years, I always just had the memory.
The American Indian Studies program at CSUN will host the 37th annual Powwow next year to continue bringing Native and non-Native American communities together. In Northridge, I'm Ana Ramos for Valley View News.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Halloween is just around the corner, and so is World Vegan Day. People at Vegan Exchange LA in North Hollywood are preparing themselves with spooky vibes, music, and meals. The 25th anniversary of World Vegan Day is approaching. It was designed to promote the benefits of a vegan diet.
Come check it out, guys.
There's still misconceptions about the lifestyle.
They think that veganism means it's healthy, and it's not necessarily.
Vegan Exchange LA CEO Jessica Shea says veganism is not a diet.
It means that you don't eat, wear, or pay for animal exploitation in any way, shape, or form.
Unlike a vegetarian diet, which allows the consumption of dairy and eggs, a vegan-based diet doesn't let you consume products produced from animals. That includes clothing. Vanessa Sahagan says her love for animals influenced her decision to go vegan.
I started getting more animals in my home and having dogs and a pig and chickens in my home. I just don't see it logically for me to eat them.
Veganism has seen a recent increase in popularity on social media, leading to more vegan-friendly choices at restaurants and schools. This change has made the switch for people like Summer Rain easier.
When I first became vegetarian 12 years ago, you couldn't go to any store and buy like a vegan burger. It was very, very limited.
However, Jessica says a diet change is easy. She says mentally the switch is difficult.
It's not the food, it's the mental. It's the peer pressure, it's the family traditions, it's the things that you think you're supposed to be doing. The people in your ear being like, but bacon, you know?
I don't eat my dog, why would I eat my pig? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, she got her point across. Despite the growing popularity of veganism, a 2018 report by Gallup suggests that only 3% of Americans consider themselves vegan. But this was a 1% increase from 2012. Being a college student athlete isn't easy. It takes a lot of time. But baseball player Stone Schiffman is stretching out. He launched University and Me, a ticket sales site.
A ticket website that benefits colleges whenever you want to get a ticket to a concert, a sporting event, anything you think of.
The site launched in July. Schiffman says the idea was in the works since April. He says it arose from the lack of funding for a renovated CSUN baseball stadium.
And we didn't have enough money to get it, and so why not make like a little fundraiser.
Schiffman's site generates revenue from sales just like StubHub and Ticketmaster. But there's one key difference. With a valid school email, a percentage of the money spent is donated to your university's athletic program. The amount donated is based on money spent per purchase. And while some CSUN students like Christian Urrutia think this is great,
I like it. Yeah, because it's going to bring funds to the school.
Others, like Chelsea Reyes, say the money should go to departments needing more funding and resources.
If at least they would divide the percentage that the athletic department is getting and distribute that into other departments.
It is important to note that per NCAA rules, Schiffman can't receive a single dollar for his website until after he's done with school here at CSUN. However, a University and Me app is set to launch sometime in December. Reporting from Northridge for Valley View News, I'm Luis Zuniga.
Thank you for joining us on our special Valley View News program. We replayed some of the best stories done by Valley View News reporters in the recent past. The COVID-19 crisis has forced us, like many others, to make adjustments to our routines. Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Kaylin Ryan. See you next week.